Greetings guys, gals, non-binary pals, and welcome back to another video. I hope that you are well, and I hope that you are fighting, because there is a lot to be fighting for. As usual, there'll be a link in the description to the page on my website with a bunch of petitions, donations, emails to send to MPs, etc, etc. I am not used to this setup. Is that better? I think that's better. I don't... Recently, I came across this Twitter, which is accidentally left-wing, and I love it so much. It is spectacular. And I just wanted to go through some of their tweets and share them with you because they're brilliant. It's brilliant. It's just a bunch of conservative people saying stuff that is actually very left. Before we get into it, I have been made aware that a lot of you don't know that I have music. So I just wanted to take a moment to plug my music. I have an EP and 2 singles and I think 5 music videos, which will all be linked in the description. So you should go listen to my music. And also while you're down there, maybe hit subscribe. I'm trying to hit 200k by my 21st birthday, which is January 14th. 200k for my 21st would be so good. Best birthday present. So please, I will love you forever. Okay. Now we'll get into it. Prediction. If Biden wins, there will be a month of national lockdown, masks, etc. Then the media will report things are improving and Biden will beat the virus. If Trump wins, there'll be a second wave. The media will aggressively report on it and blame Trump all over again. I wonder why that would happen. Also, I love that it's Biden wins, but Trump wins. These people are how are they so anti-democratic? It's ridiculous. It's ridiculous. Just, if anything doesn't go in their favor, they just have a tantrum, but then call the left snowflake. They are the biggest lot of hypocrites in the entire world, and it is very, very amusing, if it wasn't also quite scary. I'm confused as to how this is meant to sound, because that's just true. A national lockdown and masks will help improve the rate at which corona is being transmitted. And the media will report on that because that's great. And it will be because of Biden. So that is true. And then if Trump wins, there'll be a second wave, which... No, none of that. There will be a second wave. The first wave hasn't even finished. It's just gonna get worse. And it is Trump's fault. So yeah, everything you said is correct. And I don't understand how else I'm supposed to look at that. How does a Trump supporter see that and be like, yeah, boo Biden? I don't get it. I really do not understand. Men in denim built our country. Men in suits have destroyed it. Firstly, men in denim, farmers, do we need to remind you who did the farming? Everything about this, men in denim did not build your country, but men in suits have definitely had a massive negative impact. So, fuck capitalism. Thank you for agreeing with us. Big corporations must die. Support small businesses. Biden may have won the state of Atlanta, but he did not win the state of Georgia. Maybe we should abolish the electoral college. That would guarantee the Dems win every single election, purely because of California and New York. Republicans are already at a disadvantage because of the two. It would quite literally become impossible for a Republican to win if we abolish the electoral college. Oh no! Real democracy? That would mean that the person I like doesn't win. I don't want a fair democracy. I want a democracy that guarantees that someone that millions of people doesn't like has a chance of winning. That's not how democracy should freaking work. We used to have the electoral college back in New Zealand, and then in the 90s they were like, this is stupid. This is ridiculous. This isn't real democracy, because a ton of people don't actually like the people who are winning. People who are winning aren't getting the most votes, and that's not democracy. So they abolished it. Every other democratic country, it's the person with the most votes wins. How does it make sense doing it any other way? You should not be running a country when you lose by millions of votes. Facts. Votes. Fraud. This is not making the point that you think it is. Do you realize how ridiculous it is for someone to say everything that's in my favor is true everything that is not in my favor is false. That's not how this works. That's not how any of this works. If anything, Trump stans are the ones who would rig the election. Let's be honest here. If anyone is going to be trying to illegally vote, it's Trump stans. Try tell me I'm wrong. I'm not. I'm not. They are batshit fucking not even on this fucking planet. Honestly, they would do anything for Trump. Literally, they would do anything, and I would not put it past them to commit voter fraud. They were literally putting out fake mailboxes to trick Democrats. Like, if anyone is going to be committing voter fraud, it's them. It's really frustrating to see that college-educated adults skew so heavily towards Biden. Yeah, I get it. Universities are fraught with liberal indoctrination, but it's a really bad look for us. If someone didn't know any better and they looked at the education split, they'd think that Trump supporters are stupid. You know, they think that Trump supporters are stupid for a reason. It's almost as though leaving your parents and like the small town or conservative area that you're in and being able to go meet new people and see the wider world is going to open your mind up a little bit. You're going to start learning new things and understanding different perspectives as you talk to people outside of your own small circle. The older generation are more conservative than our younger generation. And so they raise their kids to be more conservative, and they're brought up in that mindset, and so they're conservative because their parents are, and they've not seen anything else. They leave, they go to uni, they're around other people with different views, and they will talk and learn to understand things. And when you are more educated, you get a deeper understanding of the wider world and a better understanding of the inequalities. And you learn about capitalism, and you learn about all that you don't just hear from your fucking dad complaining when he comes home from work. That's just the way that it goes. You learn to think for yourself and develop your own opinions outside of the ones that are forced upon you by your family and your community. Of course, they're going to be more left. Especially when you're being forced to pay like hundreds of thousands of dollars. Like that, if that doesn't tell you that capitalism is fucked, what does? You know? You go to uni and you're like, why did I just have to pay hundreds of thousands of dollars to be able to work, to earn back the money, to pay off those hundreds of thousands of dollars just to be able to survive? Like, that's messed up. That's so messed up. And if you don't question that, why don't you question that? It's a fucking cult. A dehumanizing satanic cult. They must be stopped. I know this is aimed at Dems and libs, but I'm just gonna say that they're just being self-aware. They're talking to themselves. They're like, yes, we are in a cult. Vote for Trump. Stay in the cult. That's the only logical thing that this could mean. You're not going to win with data sets and studies anymore. All the data in the last 20 years conveniently supports all liberal agendas. It's only going to get worse from now on. Data supports liberal ideologies. Science backs liberal ideologies. Science and facts mean nothing. They're not true. The only thing I will believe, the only source I will accept is Donald J. Trump's tweets. Because the J in Donald J. Trump stands for genius, and he's the only man that I trust. Honestly though, I have had so many conservative people ask me for sources, and every time I give them a source, they're like, no, that's skewed. No, that's fake. No, that's skewed. And I'll ask them for a source, and they'll either give me nothing, or they'll give me something super unreliable, or literally I've had people give me, like, tweets as a source, and they're telling me that my, like, scientific, like, research paper is false and skewed. I seem to remember a lot of conservatives like to say facts don't care about your feelings, and, like, fuck your feelings, you know? But then you hit them with facts and they get real mad. They don't like your facts. If your facts aren't what they want, they don't exist. They are false and made up by the media. Fake news. Hypocrites. All of them. Absolute hypocrites. Nothing they say makes sense. If you are against the wall, you are against the men and women of US Customs and Border Protection. It's that simple. Yeah, we are. The idea of owning land is so ridiculous. Like, you just draw a line and you're like, this is our country, this is your country. You aren't allowed to cross that line or it's illegal. So ridiculous. Who gives a rat's ass? Just let people move. If people want to leave and have a better or different life, why aren't they allowed to? Why are there such huge expectations and criteria for people to be able to do that? Stop being xenophobic. Stop being racist. Let people live their lives where they want to. Everyone in that country who is not Native American is an immigrant. A descendant of one or not. It's not your country. You came and you took over it. Stop pretending that you own it, that it's yours. Just let people enter your country and live their lives. That goes for everywhere. The idea of owning land and border control and sending people back into war-torn countries and shit is so fucked up. It's so fucked up. Cutting the Pentagon budget to end wars is like defunding the police to lower crime. That, my friend, is exactly the point. It's also like cutting education fund is going to worsen the education of young people. But you do that. You spend trillions on weaponry and on the military, but you cut funding for education and for schools because who fucking needs an education? Educating children just makes them more liberal, and we don't want that. We want them to stay young, stupid, and patriotic forever so they never question us or try to overthrow the government. But we also want to keep incarcerating people of color and then using them as slaves to make things for us. We want to keep doing that. And so if we keep putting money into the police and taking it out of education, we can keep that cycle. Healthcare is an entitlement, not a privilege. Nobody should have to sell their house to get cancer treatment. Exactly. 100%. You should share your wealth too. No one should be rich or poor based on your logic. Yeah, exactly. That's what we've been trying to say. That is what socialism is. We want to redistribute the wealth. The wealth gap is ridiculous. It is ridiculous. Put a cap on money. I think $1 billion is far too high, but people are greedy and people want to call themselves a billionaire. So, you make $1 billion, everything you earn after that gets given to people who need it. It can get put into healthcare, it can get put into education, it can get given to people who are starving, who are homeless, everywhere, wherever in the world. And that way you stay on $1 billion forever, because when you spend it, like the next time you get paid, it just gets topped back up to $1 billion. You have the same amount of money. It's literally just unlimited money. It just stays at $1 billion forever. And even then, if you stop earning money, you have $1 billion to spend, which is enough for like 100 lifetimes, probably more. Everything would be so much better. But people are greedy and people like taking advantage of people. And as I said before, who else is going to join the military? Who else is going to make us feel better about ourselves because we can look down on them and be like, ha ha, I have more things than you. I am better than you. Ha 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 ha. Can't do that if there's no wealth gap, can you? Everyone deserves healthcare. Everyone deserves food, water, and a place to sleep. You shouldn't have to work your ass off to have those things. That is the bare minimum requirement. And there are people out there with hundreds, billions of dollars. Oh, it makes me so mad. I could go on about this for a long time. Anyway, with that, I am fuming. So I'm gonna go have a cup of tea and try to settle down. Don't forget to listen to my podcast. It is here on YouTube or on Spotify, Savvy Cat Podcast. I also have my music. Please listen to my music. I will love you forever. And follow me on Instagram, The Queer Kiwi, and Twitter, That Queer Kiwi. And I will see you again in a few days. A massive thank you to my Kiwi Fruit channel members whose names are up on the screen right now. Thank you so, so much. I love you endlessly. And a big thank you to my channel member of the day, Claire. I love and appreciate you so, so much. Thank you so much for joining. If you would like to become a channel member, you can click the top link in the description or the little blue join button. I would love to have you. You get 10% off my shop, and I have something coming very, very soon. And at the moment it's just tote bags, but I have something coming soon. And my video's a day early. So yeah, I'd love to have you. I hope that you enjoyed the video. I hope that you enjoy the rest of your day. Stay safe. Keep fighting. I love you. Mwah.
Close your eyes, you replay